What's up, people? What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode 24 of Gem Finder series. Now, this is a very special episode. So what we're going to be doing today, part of the Gem Finder series, is which we're going to be talking and, figuring out and finding a whole bunch of new crypto projects that we think has loads of potential. Okay. Now, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to let you guys know that today, as you can tell from the title, we are actually going to be interviewing the CEO and one of the developers for a number 3 contender on the Gem Finder series. And as you guys have probably seen on Twitter, as you've probably seen all over the place, today we are going to be chatting with Pink Panda Finance's CEO and developer. Angry Panda is the developer, and the CEO, Adam Carlton, as you guys do know. Now, this is a crypto project that I really am a big fan of. I love the community. I do believe that they have loads of potential, especially when it does come to the end of this series, as we do start to figure out who is going to be the Gem Finder of the Gem of the Month. And I do think Pink Panda is a worthy contender. And so with that, we do have the CEO and we have the developer on today to kind of talk about some of the things in which they are doing, to kind of figure out exactly what a lot of the motives behind Pink Panda is. And then from that, we are going to be able to get an even further in-depth understanding of what this entire project is about. So if you guys are ready, if the chat's ready, we're going to go ahead. We're going to jump back into this call in a second here, and we are going to get right into the video. I hope you guys do enjoy. I'm very excited about this. All of you in the Pink Panda community, go ahead, drop this link in the chats, go to your Telegrams, go to your Twitters, your Discords, your Instagrams, everything like that. Make sure you're sharing this link all over the place, and we are going to go ahead and we are going to get this thing started, as I am very excited about it. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to the Panda crew. Of course, shout out to Panda Josh, the king raider of all of the raiders. And yeah, so in about a second here, we're going to jump back into that call whenever we get a few more people in. I usually like to give it about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So we got about 30 seconds left, and then we're going to get it started. I hope you guys are excited. I know it's a little bit later, but I wanted to make sure everyone was off work. Everyone was settled. They were home from work and they were just ready to go, as I do really have a lot of, have a lot of hope and I have a lot of excitement that this is going to be a fantastic addition to the series, something we'll be able to do going into the future. And we can really start to get an understanding and an idea of what a lot of these projects are all about. So with that being said, guys, I think it's time. Let's go ahead. I'm going to get some of these different settings adjusted, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to drop into the call. So let me unmute this. Let me turn this up, and give me 1 second. My camera's going to go out for a split sec. Give me 1 second. Okay, and give me 1 second. I'm gonna make sure that we are all good to go and live, and then from there we are going to get this thing started. I'm gonna double check a few settings, then we should be good to go. We should be good to go. Let me see. I'm gonna double check the stream. Okay, and give me 1 second. All right. Okay, Adam, Angry, if you can go ahead and just say something really quickly so we can double check the sound, and we should be fine. Then we should be good.
Hey, man.
Good evening.
All right, everything was good. All right, well, what's up? So, guys, as you can see on your screen right now, we have Adam Carlton and we have Angry Panda, the CEO and the developer of the Pink Panda project. Again, like I did say, this is a project that I really do believe has a lot of potential. It's one that I've found to be different than a lot of the community, and so it was important for us to be able to bring on these guys, and start to see the more in-depth behind-the-scenes version of what all's going on and hear it from the source, because I can say things, I can give my opinion and kind of talk about what I think about the project, but really being able to hear it from the source is super important, and I'm very excited for that. So with that, guys, welcome onto the show. I know everyone's in the chat really excited to hear you guys, and with that, I guess we'll go ahead and get this thing started. So with that being said, chat, if everything looks good, sounds good, and is all good, let me know in the chat, and then we're going to get started. So with that being said, if we do want to go ahead and just get started, you can tell us a little bit about yourselves. We'll start with you, Adam. Just kind of what a lot of the, how did you get up to this point of starting this project with crypto and going this route? Just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Well, I have to start with the pizza and Bitcoin story. I kind of just as a matter of course start that now, and I'll tell it really quickly. But I was in Bitcoin back in 2011. And I had a fair number, had 330 of them. And it was like, I remember up to, I want to say like up to 1050 or something like that. And then the price crashed. I don't remember why it crashed, but it crashed down to like 340 and I sold, of course, right? So I just laughed.
You're talking about $3.40, not $340.
Yeah, $3.40. Yeah. So, my first experience with paper hands, I learned a lot since then, right? And I've been following crypto, ever since then. But really, what happened, a change in me, is over the, I'd say, past year and a half, 2 years, is seeing how how institutional money is coming into it. Like everyone, mainstream is talking about it. It's on the news all the time, and even though it's all over the place, with volatility wise, right? Like it's clearly not going anywhere. As far as me and my background, I've been in management consulting for a number of years. I've been in cybersecurity, data, software management, managing small, medium, large teams. My background is I have an MBA and a finance bachelor's degrees, and been an investor and trader my whole life, and traditional, investments as well as crypto. So, I've just been like fascinated by the tech and how it's been advancing over the past few years. And long story short, we a few months ago started talking about this, Angry and I and a few other people, and kind of shaped this idea. So I don't want to. I'll let Angry have a turn here to introduce himself too.
Hey, yeah, I mean, let's see, where should I start? I got involved in Ethereum a few years ago. That's how I got started. Interested particularly in a particular protocol, became very involved in the community, the developer process. Then from there, branched off to, another protocol and another, and really just, was really fascinated with DeFi in particular on Ethereum. And then, yeah, I mean, I've just been, kind of living and breathing DeFi for a few years. It's just what I do. It's my main passion. And in the past year or so, I've been branching out to other chains, kind of, having a more open-minded view of different chains and their strengths and weaknesses. And I mean, recently I was just discussing things with Adam, and we, both came to the conclusion that there's just this massive opportunity here in BSC where you have, massive grassroots adoption, just a tremendous number of users using it on a daily basis, tremendous amount of TVL, like, money flowing through the system. For some reason, the pooling on the chain, the platforms are, indescribably behind the other main chains. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Right.
The fact that, we're using, I don't want to name names. I don't want to like bash other projects, but I mean, the quality of the platforms is just ridiculously bad. And so, the first thought that came to us is we're going to build a DEX that, works well or just works, period, and has advanced features so that it's easy to use for the average trader who's really just getting started in crypto, and also advanced enough for a trader who, might otherwise use a centralized exchange, since most DEXs, decentralized exchanges, aren't very powerful.
Right.
And then we've branched out from there to, the next light bulb moment was wallet, right? Like that's where your crypto lives. And so that's what we're going to do right now in the very near future.
Perfect. So with that, coming through and, having a kind of a sad story like Adam, kind of wishing you hadn't sold and all of those things. I'm sure you all have seen many different projects, right? And so one thing that I did like about your project, just the moment that I did see it, was the fact that it wasn't like another, no hate to any other projects, okay? Don't nobody roast us, but it wasn't another Doge, it wasn't another Safe Blank, it wasn't a blank Inu, it wasn't a blank Rise, it was something more creative. And so the question I have is, where does the name Pink Panda itself come from? Like, was there kind of like Pink Panda, or was there anything that kind of made it, special in a way, just out of curiosity?
To answer that one, and then I'll add what it's special. He just has a better memory of that moment than I do.
Let me see if I still remember. I think it was we were discussing names, right? We made a Google Doc of various name possibilities, and there was just a lot. I don't even remember most of them, but and then at some point someone said, "Well, I mean, everyone likes pandas, and like pandas are cute. They're awesome. Everyone likes pandas." And we were like, "Okay, something with a panda." And then someone was like, "Oh, well, we're focusing on cancer charities, so Pink Panda."
Right.
So it just made sense.
Yeah, and it absolutely stuck. And we were like, well, let's sleep on it, let's think about it. And then just the more like we said the word, the more we said Pink Panda, it just flew. It just flowed out of our mouths. And then we talked about it and like, well, yeah, it's maybe associated with cancer charities, but it's like it's 2021, man. It's pink. You can be pink and it's fine. And
Right.
like it's actually a great color. It contrasts really well with blacks and purples and reds. And I just felt like it's like, man, it's time to just like kind of, like embrace, right, this kind of approach to, the world, right? Decentralized finance is a whole new way of looking at things. I just felt like it really synced up really well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. I like that. I like that because I was curious, it's as someone who's on this platform and as someone who's been through, I mean, on this series alone, we're on episode 24. We're on documented episode 24. I had like 12 before this one without a name. We were just looking up random stuff on live. So, I mean, we've had to at least have gone through 200, 300 different cryptos on this series itself. And that's just what I do on live. I've probably been through hundreds to thousands of them at this point. And one thing that has been a common denominator and something that's repeated time and time and time again with this project itself is uniqueness. And it's something that I'm a fan of because I see it all. I've seen it all and nothing really interests me. There's been crypto projects that have come around. I've seen the name. I've seen it all before. And, just with some people who are always in my chats shouting out to the Panda community, it's always creativity. It's always uniqueness. And it's something I'm a really, really big fan of. And so with that, I definitely, just wanted to give my kudos. It's definitely a part of the reason why I do think that as success does come, you guys will find it. And that's definitely a great thing about it. So just another, another great thing about it. So with that being said, the next thing that I'm kind of curious about is if you could kind of summarize, every company, every business, every person in general, typically at some point in their life or within their business's lifetime has a goal, right? It has a goal, it has a mission. Like, what are you trying to do? So kind of in your own words, we'll start with Adam. What is your, say, mission with Pink Panda? What is your overall aspirations when it comes to the overall potential that it has?
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that we've said is like really simply like Pink Panda creates abundance, right? And to me, right, that's what decentralized finance really represents. It's such a such an opposite model of traditional finance and traditional exchanges. And it really is because we're trying to create accessibility for anyone of any income to get like the full spectrum of crypto investment possibilities, right? So you can be someone who wants to be much more risky, right? And if you're in a third world country or somewhere poor, but you're like have the brains to make it happen, you can change your life very quickly. Or maybe you're in a country where you have an unstable currency and you want to stake it in, a US dollar stable coin and earn 4, 5, 6% on that, right? To be able to like give that control, because everyone has a cell phone in their hands, right? Who does not have a cell phone in their hands? So I think that was like really the vision that I saw, and like really, really resonates powerfully when I talk to non-crypto people about this, and it resonates with a lot of crypto people too. But I'm saying like this is about really, it's really a revolution happening in finance itself. And like I said, I have a finance background, and just each day I have more ideas on like, what if we did this and what if we did this? I feel like there's this whole spectrum of possibility that didn't exist just a handful of years ago. And now that we've got and as you said, like we're extremely innovative, right? We love the creativity.
Absolutely.
We're trying to do things differently. Obviously, we take, we stand on the shoulders of giants, right? We're, the Binance Smart Chain is a fork of Ethereum, right? So like we want to recognize all that has happened in the past, but we can take all that and we can find new ways to innovate and do something really unique and powerful that's community driven, that has, a social impact and a charitable aspect of it, that's mobile first, right? All these things that just like are like really all game changers in my opinion.
Absolutely. I love that. I like that. And that's another, I'm not going to keep going, with it because I know like the chat roasts me when I repeat things too much. But one thing that I will say is that I've heard a lot of the same stuff, like, oh, we just want to make a difference, and there's no context. And the fact that I can tell that every single move that y'all make and every single aspect of your business and your project as a whole is well thought out is definitely a good thing. And so another kudos to that. And so Angry Panda, being on the other side of things, with it being more of a technical approach from you, I would say, and just like understanding things I don't understand. So first of all, kudos to that, because when it comes to some of the more more fine and detailed things, I couldn't tell you what I'm looking at, right? I know the basics and that's about it. So from your side, being on that side of the crypto world that not many people really truly understand, what is your mission? Maybe if you want it to be your mission just personally in terms of being within this space. I know you did kind of touch that you think other projects just don't meet certain expectations. Like you think that you can do things better than them, which is absolutely fantastic. I love it. You know, the whole goal here is to just to be the best Pink Panda possible, right? And so is it more focusing on just building up on the things that are already on and like within the crypto sphere, or is there another mission here for you, Angry Panda?
I think for me, it's building the things people want so that they can, onboard into DeFi in a seamless way. I mean, for me, I'm a big believer and proponent of DeFi. I think a large portion of the developer ecosystem in crypto as a whole, and DeFi as a whole, has neglected BSC. I view BSC as an opportunity to onboard a lot of people who really don't know so much about DeFi, and they're just trying it out, they're new. And unfortunately, the user experience on BSC isn't very good. And so my mission is, like, if I'm able to contribute to the ecosystem in a way that makes, the next 500,000 people who onboard into DeFi through our app on BSC with a delightful user experience and then tell all of their friends, and that pushes DeFi forward, I'd be delighted. That's what I'm going for.
Fantastic. I love that. And it's common. That's a common thing. Like it's kind of funny, when I first started personally, like when I started this YouTube channel, my whole goal was to make investing more simple. I feel like, especially I'm 20, people my age, I started this YouTube channel, I was 18. People my age had no idea what anything was. So when it comes to stocks, especially not crypto, any of that, right? And it's something that you see common is that everything, first of all, in order to understand it is complicated. And then especially within crypto, to access it is even more complicated, right? Like I remember there would be days where I would talk about something, like I remember when a lot of these big projects came out and my dad would be like, yo, like, how do I buy that? Like, I want to buy it. I'm like, I honestly couldn't explain it to you in words, how to buy it, And so I 1,000,000% understand that. And I think it's kind of like a role that we have, right? Those of us who do somewhat understand this more in a different light in terms of being able to break it down to the fundamentals and just understand it. If we can play our role in order to simplify this overly complicated space, I think it's something we need to do. And I think we can all do that in our own ways. For me personally, I try to explain it through YouTube videos. Now, people don't see it, but I may have 10,000 cuts because I can't explain something one time. It takes me a few, or whether it comes from Adam and you, Angry Panda, when y'all are creating a project that will produce products that will simplify the process of, say, not even just buying, say, your crypto, but just understanding the processes of it in general. I think it's fantastic. It's absolutely amazing. Yeah, and that's something I'm a big fan of.
There's a quote from, I honestly forget who said it, but it's something I quote a lot, that basically DeFi is all about replacing the back end of the of finance in general. And fintech, which, I don't know if you remember a couple of years ago, fintech was all the rage, kind of dying down now, but fintech is all about replacing the front end, right? Fintech basically takes standard financial products and puts them in, a nice UI for users to use. Think SoFi or Chime, right? Great right. UI, but under the hood, they're really just signing a contract with a bank and Visa. And so what we're trying to do is both at once. We're using DeFi as our back end, as the financial infrastructure, and we're shipping a fintech front end that's fit for global adoption, mass adoption, not just techies who nerd out about crypto stuff.
Right. That's great. And it's needed, right? It's so important because, Adam, we kind of talked about it earlier, and it's just something that people don't truly understand is that as we're trying to not only see you guys, say, grow your project, but there's a deeper meaning, right? Because as you can tell, both of you didn't say, well, we just want Pink Panda to do this, this, and that. No, y'all have overall ideas about how you can impact the entire crypto sphere, the entire world of crypto, because we do, all of us understand, some people might look at us like we're crazy, that's fine, but a lot of us, in this space understand the true impact that it can have, right? Adam, whether it be what you're talking about, being able to say, if you're in you're in a country where, say, there's just hyperinflation and you want a stable place to be able to put your money, or just anything of that nature. And it always comes down to, okay, let's simplify it in a way that we could teach children. That's always like the first step for me. But then also being able to build platforms such as what you guys are doing that can have that deeper meaning and be able to expand and lead to the adoption we're seeing. So that's fantastic. That was one of the things that I kind of got from you all, because it's easy. It's easy in this space to be very selfish, right? It is easy. We see it all the time, from the scams to the people who clearly are just self-centered. We see it constantly. And so just the fact that we have you here, we're talking, and people can hear you and actually hear that you're not just surface level, that's a fantastic thing. And I'm super excited about that. And so with that, one thing that I do want to ask is, as we are talking about Pink Panda and just the crypto world itself, what makes Pink Panda different, in your opinions, both of you, from all of the other projects? Because like we have seen, sure, the name is different, and that's always a winning plus for me, right? That's always a bonus. But say to you, what do you think makes you look at Pink Panda and think we are different because of this, and this is what is going to lead us to be, a standout from the rest of the crowd? I'll let you start first, Adam.
How much time you got? Okay, we'll keep it short. Wow. So I would say, part of this was an experiment in my mind, because I didn't know how it would be received, right? And so some of the things that have just wowed me is, and everyone says, oh, we have a great community, but I have heard from so many people, and I witness it every day, how powerful and how, really committed to this project our community is. I mean, they're really out there every day, taking leadership roles and saying, how can I help? And, I get contacted, I don't know how many times a day, by just people thanking me and telling me how much they appreciate what we're doing and making suggestions. And, I feel and I'm part of this community too. We're a community together. I don't see myself at all as separate from this community. So somehow we've created a magic there that really has taken on a life of its own. And it's going to be, it is a community driven token, right? It's going to be governed by the community. And so I was thinking about this and well, how are we different? Well, also we've taken a lot of, powerful features in crypto, but not fully necessarily adopted them. We're not a hype coin, but we like meme marketing. We think right. I had what I call my lawyer death match a few weeks ago, where we've structured how we're going to build our illegal entity, which includes, a U.S. Delaware C Corp. So what we're doing is we're taking kind of these best of breed approaches and bringing them together into something with a powerful vision, and it's really resonating.
Absolutely. Yeah, I had a weird little moment where it cut out right there, but I think we're all good. Okay. So, all right, go ahead. Go ahead, Angry Panda. Sorry about
that. I mean, I think it's primarily two things. One, for sure, is the community. Adam spoke beautifully about that. So I'll talk about the second one, which I think, basically, to put it bluntly, the experience and professionalism of the team. I don't really want to cast shade, but I do think it's pretty clear that just the amount of experience in crypto and DeFi over a period of several years that our team has is pretty unusual in general, and especially on BSC. And I think you don't have to take my word for it. I mean, I challenge you to name another project that, released an app but less than a week after launching the token. And then completely redesigned the app and is launching with many more features and a wallet in less than a month later. I think it's pretty clear that our pace of development, experience, vision, design is just much more efficient, faster, better, pretty much because we've all done this before. I mean, we have experience founding startups before this. And so, this isn't our first rodeo, I guess you could say.
Fantastic. Yeah. And I must agree. There's 2 points there that I will 100% agree to. The speed at which you are working is very noticeable, right? Because I see many cryptos that are we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I'm well, how old are you? They're well, we're about a year old. I'm and you're just getting started? I feel like we could be a little bit further, right? And so there's that. And I must say, it's no question in my mind whatsoever that y'all community is the most fun community that I've ever interacted with. I'm not going to lie. It's every day. And, there's many communities who've joined in and they've been engaging when I'm talking about their crypto, right? They've been engaging. They're saying, oh yeah, we love our project, everything like that. And then the next time I go live, nowhere to be seen, right? And I understand that. You're focused on your crypto, sure. But this community right here, like, I will be talking about another community, or I'll be talking about another crypto and be like, and I'll just see loads of people from the Pink Panda community in the chat, just engaging, just like, oh, this is a good project. I wish that we could see this from them. And it's just the overall care in which you like that we see, not only just for this project, but from the crypto world itself. It's unseen, and from what I've seen, and I've seen a lot. Okay, I've seen the best sides and I've seen the worst sides. Okay, and it's just, even a good example is whenever I was going through, and we're gonna transfer into this in a second here, but when I was going through and I was giving the ranking, of course, as we did mention earlier, they're the number 3 contender on our series right now. And one thing, I was going through it, and there were certain things that I said, yeah, I think this needs work. When we were talking about the website, I was like, yeah, I think this needs work. It's good. It presents the information well, but I think it needs work. And the community was like, yeah, we could probably do this. We could probably see this be a little bit better. Sure. Guys, I'm saying there are so many times that if I would have said that about another crypto, like, you don't know what you're talking about. You've never made a project in your life. Like that's so common. It's something we see all the time, but the community is so level-headed and the team is so professional that I can only see good things coming with that mixture. You know what I mean? And so with that, kind of talking about what we've ranked and what we've talked about in the past, where we talked about the app, we talked about the website, from what I understand, and to, special shout out to all the Pink Panda community, I think we have a bit of a special, a little announcement, a little preview, a little display of some things that are in the works behind the scenes right now that I think we're about ready to show to everyone. So Adam, if you want to kind of take the floor with that, and we'll kind of show it.
Yeah, I walked on my chair when we lost points on the website. It's like, man, we've got a whole new design coming out. We think it's really slick here. It's going to be coming out in the very near future. So we've got a little bit of a sneak preview of it. Text and stuff is still going to change on it, but pretty much done. We're doing a little bit of debugging here, and it's going to be out in the very, very near future. So maybe you can take a little peek at that.
Yep, so we do have it pulled up here right now. So they can actually see it on their screens at the moment as we are looking at it. They can't see us, but they can see it on the screen. And from what I can say is if you did watch that stream in which I was kind of talking about it, and I didn't rag it because I think that the design and the experience was definitely good. But I thought that there could be a little bit more of just like that, oh, this is good, this is different factor. And from what we can see, just having everything very simple, but also just the design is put together very well in a simplistic yet complex way. Just from certain things where we see like these little pop outs is something I'm a huge fan of. Any type of engagement, anything that does immerse you within a platform, within a website itself, I think it creates the experience to just be even better, especially for the people who are trying to maybe find out information about it. And not only that, though, it does show effort. It shows that people really, really put a lot of work into something rather than just putting this on some Google website template creator. You know what I mean? And so we're going to kind of let's check this out. So there's many things about it. One thing that we did kind of mention earlier, which is fantastic, is this little function right here. And what I'm highlighting over them for you right now, Adam and Angry, is actually the ability to buy the coin on the website itself. Now, I'm going to jump back into the call here. There we go. So was this something that was planned? Does this kind of work in tandem with the idea of just making things much more simple? Was that kind of the idea, is like, let's stop making things so complex. Let's put a button right there where you can buy it. Like, was that the idea, just the overall simplicity of the entire thing?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't planned from, why don't you go ahead and try it so users can see. And so, I mean, it wasn't planned from the beginning. It wasn't like, oh, we're going to come out with website v 2.0 and, let people buy it on the website. But during the process of making the website, I was just like, nobody likes going to PancakeSwap and putting in the contract address. Why don't I just, put in, an easy way to buy the website after connecting your wallet and buy the token after connecting your wallet on the website. And so we just did it. It was just part of the process. We were just brainstorming different ways to make the website cool, and that was one of them. Great.
Because one thing that it does help with, and I like that you did it, because we've seen the scams time and time again. It's very simple to go on, a website. Maybe if you even go on PancakeSwap, we can see you type in a name, and it's just loads of them that are fakes. And so you guys are taking the necessary steps to make people feel more secure. Like, you don't want people to accidentally get scammed because they type in the wrong contract address. So that's another great function. It's something I'm excited about. And so there was that announcement, and I think there was one more from what I remember. I think there was one other thing in which we kind of had a little preview of. If you want to let them know what that is, Adam.
That's right. So we've got our 2.0 is coming out shortly, which is a completely new, refreshed redesign that's going to serve as the foundation for our wallet and our DEX in the future. So I think that I think we've got some screenshots that we can show that are kind of show the new color scheme and what the app's going to look like. And I think it's a really slick interface. Again, because we really want to have that user-focused experience. It's easy, it's fun, it looks nice, it's something that you want to use, right? I mean, that's ultimately what I feel like excels on a mobile phone.
Yeah, no, I agree 1000%. And with society right now, like I know back whenever we would see a lot of things come out where it was kind of like stocks and Robinhood and things of that nature, where people we saw a common criticism, especially, I would say about 4 or 5 years ago, right? Where people were like, well, a lot of the people who are investing, they're not, they're in their maybe like 60s or 70s or, something of that nature. And they're like, well, none of them really use smartphones. But I think that with crypto, we're seeing a lot of the opposite happen right now, right? I would say that in general, the older generations tend to understand it just a little bit less. It's understandable because it's hard for me to understand sometimes, you know what I mean? And so the implementation, especially of something that is so immersive, especially such as like an app on your phone that is so well designed and so easy to use, I think that goes a long way because people in my generation, that's what we're used to. You know what I mean? From the 20s and 30s, even the 40s, and who knows, it might be 14, 15-year-olds like I used to be who are trying to invest, like that's very important, right? And so it's not just the fact that you've released it, okay? That's not one thing that I want to talk about, but it's the fact that y'all are consistently upgrading the things in which you are releasing that speaks to me, okay? And so with that, that's one thing I did want to make sure the crowd understand, like, it's easy to rush a whole bunch of stuff out just to say, well, we released, this before anybody else did. Sure you did, but you didn't put any effort into it. But yeah, they're taking the approach of not only did we release it, not only are we beating these other companies in speed, but we're upgrading these things at the needs and the necessary adjustments to make them easy to use for our crowd, right? Is that a good way to highlight that? Because that's how I take it, and that's definitely a big appeal for the whole thing.
It's an obsession, right? It's an obsession because, I've been using computers my whole life. I've been, had a cell phone for as long as I can remember. And if something, I don't like the interface on it, I'm just done with it. I'm going to go try to find something else, right? And I think too, like you touched on something critical here is we're really leaning into, mass adoption here, right? And if you want mass adoption, then it has to be easy to use. It has to be very friendly. You got to break down as many roadblocks as you possibly can. And that is kind of one of my criticisms about, the crypto ecosystem as large, is you can tell it's written by engineers. I mean, there's a certain wallet out there, I'm not going to name names, but they don't use commas in the zeros. Like in your numbers, like I have to paste it into Excel to make sure I'm sending the right amount. Like those kind of things just blow my mind, where something is so overly engineered. They're like, well, look at no, that's awful. Who passed that?
So I think I can speak briefly about Trust Wallet and MetaMask because they're kind of, large corporations, and so I don't feel as bad, pointing out their flaws. I wouldn't do that for, a small project on BSC. But I mean, yeah, they kind of suck. Like, who
they do.
Using them? Like, why?
I agree. It's one thing that I avoid personally. It's one thing that I avoid. If there is a platform that is just simply, it's either confusing, it's hard to just look at. There's some things, there's nothing wrong with it, but you just look at it and you just don't like it. All of those things weigh a lot more than they used to. And I think as the generations do go forward and as people do continue to grow into this, it's something that I think is going to become more and more and more of importance, because if people look at cryptocurrency and they think about it and they're like, this is confusing, right? It's confusing to understand. Then they go to your website, they go to your app, and then that's also confusing. That's the last time they're going to look at it. You know what I mean? And so what you doing, what y'all are doing at this moment, the speed in which you're working, especially while we're seeing a lot of promotion and influencers outside of this space promoting it, making it as simple as possible important, right? Because we see like all of these athletes and these celebrities who we've never seen them talk about crypto before, so we know their audience doesn't know about crypto. Their audience is going to come into crypto for the first time, and if they log into an app that's confusing, it's the last time they're going to look at it, right? And so, and that's definitely amazing, and that's just another big thing that really sets you guys apart, just from me, from what I've seen, from what my crowd says. And so I wanted to definitely give you that. So the one thing that I wanted to ask as we do get towards it, so what we're going to do, we're going to ask, we got one more question, one more important thing, and then we're going to open up the chat for some questions. So guys, Panda Josh, I know you're in here. If there's any questions that you guys have, if there's anything that you want to say, if there's anything that you want them to know, any appreciative, quotes or anything of that nature, let us know now. But the last question I have is that as we are on this series, as you guys are tied for third place right now, why is it that you think that Pink Panda itself should win this series? That's just a question I have, just out of curiosity.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, that was the first thing on my mind when I came in here. And like I said, when I watched you, so I remember you had three specific, I think it was three specific things, right? You talked about the website and was like, well, we're gonna do that. Let's see. What was the second one? I feel like it was, it wasn't about the app, was it? Did you talk about the app?
Remotely I did. Yeah.
So anyhow, but in any case, we got the app is a big refresh, and then you were kind of looking for a little something more. You're like, well, what is it beyond this? And so I think that we wanted to be able to come in here and talk about, like the user experience and the community and how, we deliver based on, targeted roadmaps. And like, we're very strict about making sure we hit those dates, right? And transparency and, and doing it just incredibly different. Like, I mean, I know there are some other organizations out there that are coming out as like public entities and are being more, progressive about it. But like, we intend to lead on if and when regulations come, we're going to be right there, being transparent and working with the spirit and the letter of the law, right? Like I said, I had a 6-attorney meeting a few weeks ago, right? Making sure that we were going to create, a legal structure that hopefully stands this test of time. So I think that, wanted to come into this and say, okay, well, let's throw everything you talked about there, and then throw you a lot more vision on top of it.
Sweet, perfect. What do you think? Angry Panda? What do you think? It could be an overall, just again, what sets it apart. But out of all the cryptos, I'm not sure if you've checked out the series or not, but of all many cryptos, why do you think not only that Pink Panda will be successful, but why do you think for the series itself that it should be amongst the top of, the different gems and those, great projects that we've seen recently?
I think it's quite simple. I think you should just compare the products, and you just showed our product, and I think it's pretty obvious why it's useful, needed. And I mean, I think if you just compare the products, the actual value each project delivers, it should be pretty obvious, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like that. It's simple, straight to the point, but hey, I can't argue with it. I cannot argue with that at all. So no, I definitely appreciate that. I know it's a harder question to answer. It's something that it really makes you think, because it's like, oh, why should we win? You know what I mean? Because there's not necessarily these barriers. There's not strict limitations to what makes, a project better than another one. It's just simple. What do you think makes you better? And so with that, I'm definitely excited. So let's go ahead. While we do go ahead, we're at about 38 minutes. So we're going to go ahead. Let's jump into the chat here. I am going to jump in here. Let's see if we have any questions, and then we're going to wrap this thing on up. So let's see. I know we should have some interesting ones in here. We're going to just go through a few different chats. Let's see. Okay. Boom. All right, now we got the chat pulled up. Let's see. So we do have one. So we'll go through questions. We'll go through compliments. We'll go through anything like that. Not necessarily just have to be, any questions or specifics. Someone says, Panda Josh, please shout out Aaron. I'm not sure who Aaron is, but I'm assuming.
Aaron is also in pretty infamous in our channel. He's constantly praising the almighty dollar cost averaging, having faith in the project. He's pretty legendary too.
Okay.
He's basically the diamond-handed god of Pink Panda.
Okay. We need that. Okay. So Panda Josh says Pink Panda should win this series because we have the almighty Aaron on our side. Okay, so there's him. So we have Cyber Bullion saying thank you for creating this amazing opportunity and community, Adam, for the long haul. And I must also definitely give you guys your props for that.
Thank you.
It's very easy in this space to be short-sighted and selfish. Right? Very easy because sure, you get a little bit of hype going. This is not me telling people to do this. Please don't do this, okay? But it's easy. You get a little bit of hype going, you come up with a clever idea, you come up with a clever name, you get a developer who can put a little bit of something together that looks good, surface level looks good. You make the hype, you get your money, you start building this thing up, you pay for a little advertising, it blows up, you get yours and you get out. It's super easy. Or there's those cryptos who their vision is for the short term. Oh, we're in a big hype coin market right now where it's something that everyone's excited about. So we're just going to take advantage of it while it's here and then not really care what happens when it's gone. We'll take advantage of it, make as much money as we can now, and let it go. But I can tell that you guys, just by establishing it as a business and taking it from project to business, which is a very big step to take, shows the legitimacy. I think it helps build credibility, not only through that, but also through the fact that you are so adamant, Adam, anyway, on reaching the different the steps that you have on the roadmap. I think all of that's very important. And so with that, I think I do speak for multiple people who are also in the community and saying thank you guys for having such a good, visual idea for the long term. That's definitely fantastic. Let's see. Alrighty. So my question is, let's see. We're getting spammed by another crypto project right now, so I'm trying to filter through real quick. Let's see. Panda Josh says, use case within the BSC, banging community, dominant monopoly player, Pink Panda's king. So Panda Josh always thinks he can beat me in this game right up here. There's no chance. No chance.
I mean, he would beat you at Monopoly.
You think?
I think he would.
You know what? We are going to put together a Pink Panda Monopoly League, and I guarantee I come out on top. But with that, I'm going to go through. I'm going to make sure that we have no other questions or anything specific that people are excited about, and then we're going to go ahead and so someone says Pink Panda is the best token that I've seen so far. Good idea to get in now. Not financial advice, of course. Make sure you're careful with that one. Let's see.
Nice.
So Eddie AP says, been a part of the Pink Panda army since day 12. Founder Adam is Doc's community is awesome, and the team have already done 2 cancer charity donations. Can't wait for the future of Pink Panda. Now that's something I actually did want to talk about, and I'm glad he said that because I forgot to talk about that. With all of the different charity donations and things of that nature, is the goal, as this thing does grow, to make sure that continues to become a very centric aspect of the business itself, like making sure that grows with it? And if so, if there's any, ideas of any charity drives or anything like that, anything that you guys are excited about in the future, maybe we can highlight that and then go ahead and call this thing a close.
I mean, I think that's a critical component of it, right? And, I can't tell you, I've communicated with a number of charities already, and they really are, they're excited about crypto. Like they want to get into this space, but it's very new to them. We intend to better define, right, how we'll do that. We've been, a little bit, we need to incorporate it basically into our, our corporate charter or whatever, how we're going to handle that, right? We do have a social advisory board, right, that are, some social impact people that can help us with that. And to me, it's important that both the community, the social advisory board, help guide us in how to appropriately apply funds towards that. And so it's somewhat loose right now because we want, again, those different entities to help drive us as an organization. So, one thing we did say is that we think we kind of, and my personal opinion is I'd love it to be cancer charities going forward, but it's a community governed token. So maybe once a month we do some other kind of charity or something like that. But again, this is what's really powerful about this is that it's a number of parties, and the community at large are going to help shape that. So absolutely, I can't, I would love it to a year or so from now to be contributing like $1 million to a charity. I mean, that's really like, I want to see like major contributions. Not to get too much into it, but like obviously it impacted me. I don't know anyone it hasn't impacted. So I'd love to see some tremendous visibility on that and find like creative ways to partner with various charities too.
Great. Fantastic. And that's something that is just another aspect of crypto that I'm a big fan of. Having a mother who's beat cancer on multiple occasions now at this point, having seen the effects that it does have, being able to utilize something that is so revolutionary in cryptocurrencies, but also to take it and apply it to real world issues outside of just financial, or things of that nature. It's great. And, when you have a project, just in my opinion, one reason why they are on this series for me, because, I asked them why I think they're in the top. And one reason I think that they're in the top is because they are taking some many big problems that we're seeing within this space and applying their own unique creative solutions to it. And I think it's fantastic. So with that being said, Adam, Angry, I do appreciate you guys jumping on. We'll definitely have to do this another time. I really do appreciate it as we do get towards the end of the month. Once this thing starts to come to a close, once we break down our top 3 and we really start to figure out who's going to be, the number 1, number 2, and number 3 gems of the month of the year. This is something we're actually going to do. So what we're probably going to do is take the number 1 and the number 2 cryptos from each month, put them all together, and then we're really going to have a tournament in maybe about 6-7 months. And so with that, I'm excited to see the progress that you make. Keep absolutely killing it. The timelines that y'all are working on, I know you're stressed and I know you're tired and I understand that feeling, but keep smiling, and the things that y'all are doing are fantastic. I did want to say shout out to the Pink Panda community. Those of you who do make this thing go round, it really, really, really makes the project revolve. Okay, like, as you guys do chill, as you guys do, have people like Panda Josh and Aaron that I've just learned about, these type of people who can really keep the general public confident and aware of all the things that are going on. It's a great aspect and it's a great addition. It's something that I think a lot of projects do lack, and that's the reason why they don't see growth. And so with that, the inverse being is why I do believe that you guys will see growth in the future. So not financial advice, of course, you make your own decisions. But with that being said, you guys, I do appreciate you joining in again, and I'm excited to talk to y'all again soon.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us. It really is a pleasure and a treat. So great to meet you, at least in video form, and I'm looking forward to the Monopoly match too. I think that's pretty exciting.
Angry Panda, you just said that I would lose. So I am a very competitive young man. So be looking forward to the Monopoly tournament, guys. Who knows? Maybe it's going to be Monopoly boys on board. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead.
You're dead man walking. Panda Josh will obliterate you.
I love it. I love it. So yeah, again, guys, I do appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go wrap up this stream, and then we'll talk soon, everybody.
All right. Have a great weekend.
See you, everyone.
Take care, man. See you.
Man, what an absolutely phenomenal pair there. What an absolutely phenomenal pair. So with it being said, guys, we're not going to be looking at any more cryptos today. I did want to jump in and we'll do a few super chats, but I do appreciate all of you who did join in. That is an absolutely amazing duo. It's a project, and you guys know that I very rarely talk highly of companies. I very rarely talk highly of projects. I'm not a big fan of just giving my opinion, as I want this to be very unbiased. But one thing that I must say is that the vision and then the overall idea and creativity, uniqueness, and application and execution in which they do display is amazing. It's phenomenal, and I want to make sure that it's something that I do continue to be able to highlight on this channel. First and foremost, we are 100% figuring out something to do with Monopoly. I will create an online game, and we're going to run it up, everyone. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to jump into a few super chats here, and then we're going to call this thing a close. So in terms of super chats, shout out to Little Falker. Create a place like the app that breaks down DeFi simply in the terminology and makes it simple for all the noobs like me. Would be absolutely phenomenal. It's definitely needed. So shout out to you. Shout out to Charles Howard saying, once the DEX is released, how does the volume go through the app benefit Panda token holders? When is the DEX getting released? So that is something that I will make sure that they do answer for you guys. I actually didn't see this message, and I do apologize for that. But in terms of volume, I definitely think that volume increases not only through hype, but overall ease and, conventionality, just the overall idea that it is more conventional to buy it. I think that definitely benefits everyone, right? Next up, they have All Hell Almighty Aaron Pink Panda. Shout out to Subdivide for the $5 donation. And then we have Kyler Rubin. Will merch shop take Pink Panda and also have a Steam group for your Monopoly tournament? I'm 1,000,000% making that happen. Shout out to you. We have, once the DEX is released, how will the volume go through the Pink Panda? Okay, so we did see that. Shout out to Charles Howard. We have Michael Verby saying 100% of Pink Panda merch profits donate to charity, which is something that we absolutely love to see. So with that being said, everyone, that is going to be about it for today's episode of Gem Finders. I know it's a little bit shorter, but I wanted to make sure that these gems that do work their way into the top 3 have the stage, they have the platform, and they have the ability to really be able to display what they're all about, and we get it straight from the source. If you guys did enjoy it, if you did enjoy today's stream, of course, you know the drill. We're at 50 likes, and I'd absolutely love for this thing to hit 100 likes by the end of the night. So definitely go ahead, go smash that like button if you did enjoy this, and if you do want to see more AMAs with some of our top 3 contenders, definitely let me know. While we are talking about top 3 contenders, here is a breakdown. I almost did it again, but it's over there. Here's a breakdown of our top 3 right now. We have Meta Hero, Peacock Coin, Gorilla Diamond, and Pink Panda Finance in our top 3. Coming in at number 4 is Bank Social, and then number 5 is Healing Potion. So I'm excited to see how this thing does grow. I really do love the series. I love the community and the crowd and just the overall enjoyment and excitement behind the series, and it's something that I'm very excited to keep doing. So with that being said, everybody, that is going to be about it. I know it's late. Y'all go get some food. Y'all go get some sleep. If you're tuning in for Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor tomorrow night, definitely let me know. Who do you think's going to win? I got Dustin Poirier all day. Shout out to Louisiana, and that's going to be about it. I appreciate everyone.